So we are continuing with the SAP upgrade using the sum tool. So I'm connecting with our ECP ADM, right? And the password we have to use it. So then, so we are progressing the our upgrade here, right? So what is the port number for the uh, sum tool?
1128.
1128 tool.
So what is the purpose of the sum tool we are using? What is the for upgrade? For any system upgrades, we have to use the sum tool. So normally before the sum tool, what are the tools we used to perform the SAP upgrade when the sum tool is not in place?
Spam and save.
Yeah, spam and saint are the transaction codes, right? So what is the use of the saint?
Saint is for add-on installation.
Saint is for the add-on installation tool, right? Okay, so shall I uninstall the add-ons using the saint? Shall I uninstall the add-ons using the saint? Yes, we can do that one, right? We can do that one. Okay, so yes, right now. So we are in the good place now. So yesterday we have completed the extraction phase. So these are the phases in the sum tool. After we selected the scenario selection, yesterday we discussed about the scenario selection. So they are the three types of scenario selection, right? Single, standard, advanced, right? Single, there is no shadow system. Advanced, so which means in the standard or advanced, we have the shadow will be created. We know what is mean by shadow system, right? So everyone knows about the shadow system. Shadow system means it's a parallel to or similar to our original system. Similar to our original system. So all upgrades, everything will happen in the shadow system. Then after that, we can test it and we can click on the next button. Then data will be copied from the shadow system to your original system, right? That is what will happen here. So what happens we don't have the shadow system? What happens if we don't have the shadow system? Anyone can jump?
More downtime.
Yeah, so it kind of longer downtime, right?
Longer down.
Longer downtime. Why? Because everything will happen in the main system only instead of the shadow system, so that the system is not available for the users. So what is mean by downtime? What is mean by downtime?
System is not available for the business.
Yeah, system is not available for the business users. That is called the downtime, right? Not available for the users. That is called the downtime. What is mean by uptime?
It's available.
Yeah, system always available for the users. That is called the uptime phases, right? So yesterday we have completed the extraction, right? In the extraction phase, system asked us to provide the user IDs, passwords, extracted the softwares, scanned the directory. All these things happened in the extraction phase. So then, as soon as extraction completed, then it will ask us to provide the configuration phase. Now we are in the configuration phase. See now in the configuration phase, so here yesterday we went to the 2-3 step before and we implemented the nodes, right? So that step also will come now. Okay, now as soon as the extraction completed, now it will go to the configuration, then checks, pre-processing, execution, so post processing. So now we are in the configuration. So configuration means, so you configuration of the parameter. This is a very crucial step actually. Yeah, this is a very important step here. You need to remember the input parameters here. So here in the configuration tab, you have to provide the configuration of the above process. Uptime how many process, downtime how many process, uptime how many process, and downtime how many process. Like, so uptime during the system uptime, how many, so above process means either the dialog or so background process, how many should be used, right? So that is the above process. 812 by default it's taken. So enter the maximum number of parallel for the SQL commands. So SQL commands. So which means uptime SQL commands. So uptime. So how many uptime how many SQL process, uptime how many SQL process. So and also downtime how many SQL process, right? Same as like R3 trans and R3 trans D. Some tool will automatically will calculate the this configuration, automatically it will calculate the configuration, depends upon the your CPUs, how many CPUs are there, it automatically it will calculate and it will show the results here, it will show the results here. So if you increase the process, not a problem. So if you increase the process, so system upgrade will happen very fast. Then means multiple process will process your upgrade will complete sooner. But here we need to check the how many CPUs and how many resources we have in the system. Those things we need to check in the systems actually. Okay, those things we need to check in the system. So same as like here also R3 load process also 12 and 64 automatically system calculated, it's shown the results here. So we can keep it, why? Because we are using the standard, so we can keep it the same resources. So which means if you use the advanced, then here the resources are more resources. Suppose if I tell one mathematics probability, so one work maybe one building construction, so 10 resources, 10 employees, 10 labor people, one building they have constructed in the 30 days, right? So at same time, if you increase the resources to 10 resources to 20, then what will happen? Within 50 days, they will construct the house, right? Mathematics probability, right? Same as like here also, if you increase the 8 resources, maybe standard downtime is 6 hours. If you increase the 16 resources, then it will decrease to then 4 hours, right? Half percentage. If it is the 8 hours downtime, maybe you 8 process 8 hours downtime, 4 process, not 4 process, 16 process, then 4 hours downtime, right? The downtime is reducing because of we are keep on increasing the process, the downtime will be reduced. But if you are keep on increasing, we need to check the our CPU resources also, how many CPUs, what is the memory utilization, how many CPU resources we have, how many sockets we have, how many CPU processors we have. So we need to check these things as well. Otherwise, what happens? Your CPU get hung, entire upgrade will be disturbed, right? Entire upgrade will be disturbed in the system. So that's the reason you can always choose the by default calculated parameter by SAP, right? So, but here this one R3 trans and R3 load process. So there is a SAP thumb rule to calculate. SAP thumb rule to calculate it here. There is a SAP thumb rule we can calculate it here. So which means R3 trans and R3 load process. There is a thumb rule means, so there is a, so like a 3 into number of CPUs or 5 into number of CPUs. So like that we need to calculate it. R3 load is 3 into number of CPUs. How many CPUs we have? Those many CPUs we have to calculate it. Means 3 into 4, right? 12. 3 into 4, 12. So 12. This is the 2 into 4, 18. So like that we can calculate it 3 to 5 times of the your CPU resources. We can 5 times means 4 5 fours are 20. 20 we can put it out. Why? Because we have the 4 CPU cores are available here. So there is a mathematics problem. There is a SAP thumb rule here to calculate this process uptime, how many process, and downtime, how many process. But most of the things uptime we need to calculate it. Why? Because one side your original system is up and running, then we need to calculate this one, right? We need to calculate this one. This is the 2 into 4 8 and 3 into 4 12. It's calculated 3 to 5 times of your CPU cores and 2 times of your CPU cores, or 3 to 5 times of CPU cores. Like that we can calculate this CPU cores and everything we can calculate it. So each process here in the R3 trans, each process will take the 512 MB, which means each process 512 MB. If you increase the 8 process, 8 into 512, which means 4 GB. 4 GB free memory is required at a database at a OS level, right? So same as like, so some R3 load also, R3 load, it's like it will not take much time, but 3 into CPU, that much of formula we have to calculate it, or you can go with the default calculation, right? Next one is the batch host configuration. How many batch jobs? So system used. You want to run the SGen. So decision on the SGen. SGen is not required during the upgrade. It may take a lot of time. That's the reason. So we will go to the next step here. We will go to the next step here. So that's the reason. Here in the same, once the configuration of the uptime, how many parameters, and downtime, how many parameters are completed, the next step it will come to the SPDD transport and SPAU transports. If you have already SPDD, SPAU transports. SPDD means data dictionary transports and AU means repository transports. So these transports are created by your development teams. If you have already SPDD, SPAU transports, we need to provide the transports here. If you don't have the transport, just click on the next button. So when we will get the transports, once the first system is completed, our development teams, they will do the SPDD, SPAU transports. They will provide the request number to us to go with this one. Then here, next step is the include the transport request. If you have any emergency transport request, note implementations or something, we can add the transport request here by clicking the plus symbol. If you don't have anything, just click on the next button. So when you are implementing the next system, so now this system upgrade is done, then development team, they will create the SPDD, SPAU transports. When we are going to the quality system, the quality system, you have to provide this SPDD, SPAU tool, you have to provide it. So then after that, production we have to provide it. First system we are doing, we don't have any SPDD, SPAU transports, then we can go further on this one. So see here in the previous step, so check the SAP notes it's asked. So right, so notes it's already implemented. That's the reason the check is passed. Then it went to the next step here. It went to the next step here, upload fast steps. So here what exactly happens? See here, this is the sum tool here. Here you can see the task list and the logs here. So go to the task list here. What exactly happening here? So all the patches in the files in the EPS directory. So it is reading, starting uploading the all the packages in this EPS in directory. It is starting. It started, right? So you can also go to the logs. Here you can check what exactly happening in the logs. Same upload first. What exactly happening here? The upload first is completed successfully. So total 292 patches successfully uploaded. So in the function module, so it's 292 patches we are uploading into the systems, right? So then after that, it will go to the next step, EHP inclusion. Like that, there is a number of steps are there. So now see here, so system, yeah, this sum tool is logged into the your SAP system through DDS user and 000. Then it's creating the EHP inclusion. It is creating the EHP inclusion. Like that, it will start to loading the all the patches one by one into the systems now. Okay, so once this configuration is completed, then it will go to the checks phase. In the checks phase, okay, let it come. Once the checks come, once the configuration comes, what exactly comes? Okay, so in the extraction, some tool we started, provided the XML file location, then it went to the scenario selection. Then after that, the roadmap steps are displayed. So yesterday we have completed the extraction. Extraction means scanning the all the patches, extracting the all the softwares. Then all these things are so verified yesterday, right? Today configuration phase. In the configuration phase, configuration of the all the parameters like uptime how many, downtime how many, R3 load, R3 trans, SQL process, above process, and also batch job selections and the SGen decide whether we need SGen or not, and also SPDD, SPAU transports and customer transports. All these things we have provided in the configuration phase, right? See here what's happening here. So it's here uploading the data, extracting the two packages here, uploading the data, extracting the two packages here. So one side we have to monitor the our CPU utilization as well. So why? Because we have increased the process, we need to increase the, so we need to check the our CPU utilization also, we need to check in the system EHP inclusion. So what happening in the EHP inclusion? So we can check that logs as well in the system. See here, all the patches are getting imported. SAP UI, bash, RFC succession. It's all are importing. All are importing to the. All are importing. It's ready now. It's ready. Nothing will do now. It is taking the ready now. Ready for the execution. Ready. Ready. All it's preparing for the packages and everything. It is extracting the packages. It will prepare it. So in the pre-processing, it will start executing. Pre-processing, it will start executing. It start creating the shadow systems, or which in which phase the shadow will be created. In the pre-processing, the shadow system will be created in the pre-processing step. Once the shadow created here, shadow will be upgraded here. Then shadow creation, shadow upgrades will happen in the pre-processing step. Then go to the extraction execution phase. In the execution phase is called the downtime phase here. So I will explain. I will explain why each and every step. I will clearly explain. When we are in the same phase, I will clearly explain about the steps and everything. Here each and every package that it is importing 250 262 patches, right? So that's why it's taking so longer time. So it will take longer time. Normally every upgrade it will take 1 week, 1 week time, but for our upgrade also taking the 1 week time because of, so it's here you can see here. So here, so everything is 260 packages is uploading. It's not the small upgrade, so huge upgrade we are doing here. Maybe we'll stop the sun system. So we'll stop the TST system for temporary, because it will release the some of the free memory. So that's why I'm stopping the TST system. Whereas since upgrade is running here, so it will create the one more instance. The shadow instance will be created. so that we don't have much memory. So that's the reason we become slow for other systems as well. So that I'm stopping the TST to release some memory. It will release the some memory so that system will be fast. So there is a overall picture of the upgrade is there that I will explain it clearly. So, but now we are in the initial steps. So when it is go to the pre-processing, there is a one class which will explain the all the details, all the everything here. It will explain the all the things here. So what happens and how the system will switch to the from here to here, everything it will switch it here. So that I will explain it. So now we are in the initial steps, right? So try to understand what is happening in the system, how the sum tool looks like, what is the port number, what is the version, from which version to which version we are upgrading. So SPS upgrade. Normally you can tell like I did the SPS upgrade. So which tool, sum tool, how many some steps they may ask you for your experience, they may ask you some steps, roadmap steps, port number, which tool. So what is the difference from 1.0 to 2.0? So how will you generate the stack.xml file? All these things they may ask you the questions, so you have to answer it. So sometimes if you are the more experienced, they may go little bit deeply what exactly happens in the extraction phase, configuration phase, checks phase, pre-processing, like that they may ask you the questions, right? So you have to answer that questions. Is possible. Sir, where can we check the time minutes? Here in the logs, we can check all these things. In the logs, you can check the, so what's happening with this page, all these things we can check. So each phase, each subphase, now EHP inclusion, each phase, there is a log will be created, each phase log. If you open that log, it will display the, so what's happening here, what is the current status. If you just scroll down, all the information will be displayed here. All the information will be displayed here. What are the patches? It's a read. So all the information it's populated in the system here. All these patches are from the our download directory only. So all the information will be so displayed here. Next step, what is that? EHP inclusion is completed. So then next one is this one, component information. Then like that it will start go all the steps, all the task list will complete it. But it's not like that. You no need to remember the all the steps. Like no one cannot remember the 1,000 sub steps here. What exactly happened? So they may ask me these steps you have to remember. So these 6 roadmap steps. But under the sub steps you no need to remember each step. Just a few steps are required that I will explain it when we are in the pre-processing and execution phase. That important steps I will explain clearly. While this is processing, anyone, any questions? While this is progressing, so we have some time to discuss. If you have any questions, let me know. I can answer it.
Sir, how can we generate the stack.xml file from solution manager?
From solution manager, it's not possible. Previously, we used to generate the from solution manager 7.1, 7.0. But nowadays, everything is from the maintenance planner. That maintenance planner we already generated, right? Same procedure we have to use it. If they ask you from solution manager, from that solution manager is outdated, so now we need to use the maintenance planner. That process we have to use it. Okay. Maybe if you are not asking the questions right, I will explain about. Can you revise the transport request answer? Transport request, right? So there is a SPDD SPAU transports, right? In the configuration phase, it asks for the SPDD SPAU transports. You have systems in the landscape. First, this is the development system, this is the quality system, this is the production system. So in the development system, first time you are doing, you don't have any transports or something like that, right? So then we are giving the empty, skipping next, clicking on the next button. But when you go to the quality with the same upgrade, you have the transports. Transports means, so developers, they will record the changes, SPDD, SPAU changes, that is called the SPDD, SPAU. The development team, they will create the SPDD and SPAU. So during the upgrade, after the upgrade or during the upgrade, they will create the transports and they will share it to the basis team to apply the same in the quality system. That time when you are upgrading the quality system in the landscape, you have to provide the SPDD, SPAU. Why? Because they have already done the adjustments of the transports in the development. So you have to provide the same thing. Some tool will apply the same changes in the quality system, same in the production system as well. So this is our first system. We don't have any SPDD, SPAU transport. So we have to give the empty. Then after the upgrade is completed, our developers, they will log into the system. They will do some adjustments in the system. They will do some adjustments for development related data. They will do the adjustment. That is their duty, and they will adjust it. They will record the changes into the transport request, right? We are the transport administration. Why we are the transport administration? To move the objects from the development to quality, quality to production. Same thing, they will create the transport request. Then they will ask us to import during the some upgrade, so that we have to give it further. Got it, right? So while upgrade is running, in the sum tool we can check the logs. Sum tool we can check the logs. No, it's not. It's not. But where can I check? Something is console level. It is showing means some upgrade level, some OS level. There is some folder. It will show the logs, right? So in this case, you have to go to the operating system level. In the operating system level, there is a when you extracted the sum tool, there is a sum folder is created, right? Under the USR, SAP, and SID, right? Under the SID, you have the sum folder. Under the sum folder, ABAP and log, ABAP and log. It's very slow now. ABAP under log directory here. So all the logs from here also you can check the logs. Whatever the logs in the console, same logs here also we can see in the, so whatever the logs here, EHPI, so a log, all these logs, whatever the logs here, same logs here also you can see, same logs you can see here, a log, so EHP logs, all the logs here also we can see in the system. We can see in the system. So this is the same a log, EHP inclusion, EHP inclusion. Same logs will be displayed here as well. But instead of going to the file system checking, in the some console level, we can read the all these logs and we can check it out here as here itself. Right? So this is the So logs we can check it out here. Just want to give some information on the some batch processing, how the calculation will happen here, right? It's a very important step and important concept. Okay, so here during the configuration phase, we are giving the above process, right? Above process and SQL process, above process, SQL process, and R3 trans process and R3 load process, right? So how many we have to take it? How to minimize our downtime? If you increase this process, downtime will be improved. If you decrease the process, downtime will be more, right? So as we discussed in the mathematics probability, one building construction, 10 people, 20 people, one building construction, how many it takes? So that mathematics probability we discussed, right? So here above process, it's a very important. Okay, here this is a very important concept. Here above process, we know uptime, the first parameter is called the above process. Here uptime, how many batch process you required, downtime, how many batch process you required, that we can set it up. Okay, maximum 10 process for technical limitation, 10 batch process we can set it out, right? So maximum 10 process we can set it out. Or why, as per the your BTC parameter convention, we can set up the more batch process, above process. In SM50, we can see in SM50 we can see the, so how many process are there, those process we can set for the here above process, right? This clear for everyone, right? Because in SM50 we can check and we can set the this one. What about the SQL process here? What about the SQL process here, right? In the SQL process is number of, what is the use of this SQL? So in the configuration phase, we are giving the number of SQL process. Why we are giving means, so this SQL process, it defines the number of parallel SQL statements to run in the database level at the same time. Suppose your database is HANA database. So how many SQL process should run in the database level at the same time? Parallel SQL statements to be run on the database level. So if these are the DDL statements actually. So here normally we will give the number of physical, the recommended value is total number of physical CPUs. How many physical CPUs we have to give the same. So you see it's a number of maybe you can put like number of physical CPUs. How many CPUs we have? Same number we have to give it. SQL process means number of physical CPU process. The recommended value is total number of physical. Suppose if you have the 6 physical CPUs, you need to put the 4 means 4 physical CPUs you need to put for the SQL process here. So these parameters will define how many process. If you put the six parallel SQL statements run in the database at the same time. If you put seven SQL statements will run in the same time, right? So this is the number of physical CPUs, right? That is the one. So the next one, the third one is the R3 trans. How many? So it's, so they are not going to ask each and every step and everything in detailed way. Okay, whatever the questions yesterday and today we are discussing, port number from 1.0 2.0 SPS upgrade with some tool. What is the port number? How many roadmap steps? What is the shadow system concept here? What happens if you don't have the shadow system? So, and also they may ask you one frequented most important steps are configuration phase. In the configuration phase, you are defining the parameter, right? How you are defining the parameters? Like how we are giving the parameters, like uptime 4 batch process, downtime 4 batch process, SQL process, like that you are defining. How you are defining this question? Definitely they will ask you. The upgrade who done this one, they can see the screen, right? How we know, right? No one will explain in detail like this, like so above this many process SQL, this many process we required, right? So like that. So here for SQL process, number of physical CPUs. Suppose in your organization you have the 10 CPUs, then you need to put the 10 CPUs, right? The next one is the R3 trans. So the third parameter is called the R3 trans, is your TP and R3 trans for parallel import of the support packs, parallel import of the support packs. So here R3 trans and TP. So R3 trans parameter. So what is the use of this R3 trans process? These are the process at operating system level, right? It is used this R3 trans process importing the support packs, in parallel importing the support packs. Here number of SQL statements will be executed. Here importing the support packs, here parallel transport tools in parallel import of the support packs here. Okay, so here R3 trans. So here we can put like maximum recommended value 50, we can put here maximum recommended value, this we can put CPU here. So otherwise per CPU 1 into per CPU 1 into number of CPUs we can put here, right? CPUs means if you go to ST06 or ST06, we go number of how many CPUs are there, those many CPUs we can put it by as a system here, right? So here, so 1 into number of CPUs we can put here for the CPU, maximum 50 and minimum 1 into, so number of CPUs, 1 into number of CPUs, and maximum we can give 50 process, R3 trans 50 process we can give it, right? Minimum number of CPUs. How can we get the number of CPUs? If you go to the here, then SAP level, then if you go to the RZ, how to check the CPU utilization, ST06, right? If you go to the ST06, here we can get the how many CPUs are there, those many things we can give it here, right? So the recommended value is the number of same physical CPUs available in the server, means one parallel import, maximum 50, minimum 1. So here how many are there? Here number of cores we have 4, number of CPUs 4, means 4 we can give it, 4 R3 trans process 4 we can give it, maximum 50 we can give it here in that case, right? So number of physical CPUs, same recommendation, the recommended value as the same number of physical CPUs available on the CPU. So one process for import, means 4 process means 4 imports will do here, maximum 50 we can give it here, right? This is the, so this is the rule we have to follow for the, so R3 trans, same recommendation, number of physical CPUs here we can give it, here also minimum 1 into number of CPUs, so number of CPUs 4, then 1 into 4 CPUs, here also 4 we can give it. So what about the R3 load here? These formulas are very important, guys. So interview point of time they are going to ask deeply, means these are the questions they may ask you, right? So R3 load process, this is the very important here. So this will perform the load export and import process, right? This is the very important process here. Here how many we have to give it here, so that here 3 to 5 times of the CPU, 3 to 3 or 5 times of the number of CPUs, number of CPUs. Suppose your CPU 4 CPUs means, so either 3 into 4 or 5 into 4, 20 R3 load process we can give it, 3 to 5 times of R3 load process, right? So maximum for R3 trans, maximum 50, minimum, so 4 means our process 4 CPUs means minimum 4 we can give it. So number of physical CPUs, so here suppose here SQL process also, SQL process and R3 trans both are same here, but here there is a R3 trans, we have the 60 CPUs, then you can give the 60 process, but here we have to give only 50. Why? Because the limitation is we have to give only maximum number of R3 trans are the 50. Minimum is 1 into number of CPUs. 1 into number of CPUs we have to give it here. So that, so number of CPUs. So this is the recommendation. This is the SAP recommended settings we have to give it. We have to give. So we are not giving blindly to my own set, my own recommendations. So SAP own recommendations we have to provide during the uptime, how many process, during the downtime, how many process we have to give it, right? So same logic. So this SQL process and R3 trans will use the same logic, and R3 load is the 3 or 5 times of number of CPUs. Suppose your CPUs are 4, then 35 into 4, 220 CPUs, 20 process we have to give it for there, right? This is the recommendations we have to use for so SAP. So this is the very important concept. This is the one. Any questions on this one? This is the number of batch process, number of how many background jobs are there, number of background work process we can give it here. So this is the settings we have to give. So these settings no one don't know in the real time. Few are the working, few people they don't know how to give this process. They blindly will click on the next button, but the interviewer will cut this one. They may ask you questions. So in the configuration phase, you have to give the some number of process, right? What is the, how can you give it? If you have the 5 CPUs, then 5 into 5, 25 R3 load process you have to give it. So 5 CPUs means 5 process we have to give for the R3 trans. Like that we have to give the settings for here, right? Like that we have to give the settings for here. So this is the rule we have to follow in the system. This is the rule we have to follow. Okay, is it understand? You got it? See here how many it is, 40, 37. So 49% memory used, so 30 CPUs. So which means most of the things are causing by this process. This EHP inclusion is taking a lot of data, much time it's taking. Because 262 patches means definitely it will take time. Okay, so this is the thing. So once this is completed, then we have to click on the next button for the checks. So checks, nothing will happen. Just it will check the, are there any failed update records, failed transactional RFCs, any unreleased transports. These 3 things it will check: free space at DB level and SAP level. This 4 or 5 checks it will check for checks in the system. Then it will go to the pre-processing. This is the main step here. This one, these 2 are the main step. Actual work happens in the these 2 steps only, right? These are the checks, just checking the configuration and everything, these preparations. But remaining all are the remaining these 2 phases are the very important phases. Okay, so while we will keep it processing this step EHP inclusion. Once this is completed, it will go to the next step. But once this is completed, when it is go to the checks phase, it will ask the please click the next button to proceed the checks phase. Then we will finish the checks phase from today. Then tomorrow we can continue pre-processing and execution, or you can continue with the, whenever you see the screen it is asking for the next button, you can click on the next button, take the screenshot and inform in the group I clicked the next button, something like that. So that tomorrow we will explain what exactly happening with the each and every phase. So nothing, the first 3 phases are nothing here. Extraction, configuration of the parameter, checks, it will check the consistency check, parameters, all space, DB level, free space, memory, everything it will check. Actual thing will happen in the pre-processing and execution phase. What exactly happens in these 2 steps, that I will explain it tomorrow. Why? Because still we are in the configuration phase. So let it continue, let it monitor by you. You can monitor the system. So if something got error, if you some got error, you can try to fix that error. Okay, definitely we will get the error. Why? Because we are not performed the pre-steps. So definitely you will get the error. So try to fix it. Let's see who will fix that error, who will understand that error and who will fix it. If any error comes, just inform to others. then take the maybe comments or suggestions, then you can just proceed further. Okay, got it? Any questions, any confusion? But this is the very important to you lifelong, whenever you are in the SAP career, this always you have to important, really important. Okay, like that you have to configuration of the parameters. Any questions from anyone?